Right, let's see how this live thing works. So this is a new channel. I don't have many subscribers at the moment, so I want to start doing regular live streams, certainly every week. And even though I haven't got many people following me at the moment, I thought I'd start doing these and get used to doing them. And then as more and more people subscribe, we can have a bit more fun. Let's see if this is actually working. Still getting used to all the technology. I got too many buttons to click. Okay. Are we even live? It's very difficult to do this when I've got nobody to chat to at the moment. I think this is why with most live streams... Very difficult to do this. I think that's why you always get YouTubers when they do live streams. They waffle on for the first 10 minutes. I've always wondered why, and now I get it. They're waiting for people to join. Okay. Right, for those that don't know, for those that don't follow me, my name's Pete. I have got a YouTube channel, a very new YouTube channel, where I talk about my sort of grief journey and what's happened to me over the last few years. So what actually happened was about 3 years ago, my wife found a lump on her breast. And she went in to the doctors to see about it. And they sort of did some tests and things, did a biopsy. And they said, it's okay, it's not cancer. Which was great, obviously. They just said, carry on with your life. They said there's some lump there. I can't remember the term they used for it now. But they said, in the future, you could probably have that lump removed. But nothing to worry about. So we just carried on life as normal. And several months passed. We started looking to buy a house. We were going house hunting. And maybe 2 weeks before she passed away, she started getting some weird symptoms. She was having difficulty breathing. She was getting some aches in her shoulders and her back, and it was all really weird. And this went on a while, and I said to her, you've got to go and get this checked out. I said, there's something's not right for you. So she went and phoned the hospital, and it was about 2 a.m, I think. Hospital said to her, just take some paracetamol and go to bed, So she did. And then about 20 minutes later, the hospital phoned back. Now, obviously, in this time, they'd obviously gone in and seen her medical record, and they'd seen that she'd had a history of this lump in her breast. And they said to her, you've got to get into hospital right now. So she went to hospital, took a bag with her, to stay over, just in case. She wasn't even going to. She said, should I take a bag with me? I said, yeah, I think you should. I laugh now, it's not funny, but she went to hospital. She had a couple of tests for a couple of days. I get a phone call from the doctor a couple of days later. He said, obviously I was going in and visiting my wife, but we had 2 children as well, so I had to go home to look after them. The doctor said, you need to come into the hospital. So I went in, and my wife was just crying her eyes out. And I was like, well, what's up with you? And she said, oh, they think that she's got cancer. the doctor had told her, I mean, they still had to do the sort of official tests, but the doctor told her that he's 99% sure that she's got cancer. And not only has she got cancer, but it's everywhere throughout her body now. And then maybe 7 to 10 days later, she died. Massive internal bleeding. She left behind me and, at the time, our 2 boys, 11 and 15. And it was devastating for us. You know, it was, I'll remember it for the rest of my life, going home and telling my sons that their mum wasn't coming home. It was terrible. It was awful. I never want to go through anything like that ever again. And for the last 3 years now, I've been, you know, on my own grief journey, coping with what happened. I've started, you know, doing a lot of research into grieving, and I've even started looking into things like sort of medicinal foods and anti-cancer type alternate treatments and things. And I did start off with a TikTok channel, and I started doing stories, videos similar to what I'm doing now, just talking about what happened. And I got a lot of followers, a lot of comments. I think one of my videos on it has got like close on 1 million views now. Something like 50,000 comments. Is huge. So I thought, well, I'm going to just keep doing this because I'm obviously resonating with some people out there, and what I've found is a lot of people are going through what I've gone through, and you know, particularly with the misdiagnosed as well. And people don't talk about it. I find that grieving seems to be a bit of a weird topic. People don't talk about it. People are just, I don't know. It's like a taboo subject. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, when people come up to you and they'll ask you, how are you? And you say, yes, my wife passed away or whatever. And then there's that awkwardness then, and they don't know how to act. And likewise, I don't know how to act back either, you know, and it's not talked about, or people would just come out with the usual sort of lines like, oh, well, you know, sorry about your loss. And so I decided to create this channel and start making some YouTube videos about what I went through and my experiences. And hopefully it'll bring some sort of, you know, value or help with some people who may be going through the same thing, or maybe going through, you know, maybe you've got a friend that's going through something similar. Maybe you've gone through it in the past, you know. So, you know, and that's the idea behind this channel. So it's going to be a lot of videos about talking about grief, talking about, you know, my experience, about how I found it. I can absolutely tell you now that when you grieve, everything that they tell you is going to happen doesn't. It's so different to what people tell you. It's completely different to what I expected. And not only that, everyone I speak to that have gone through similar sort of, you know, things happen, they all experience it completely different as well. Right, I'm just going to go and try and figure out what's going on here, because I can't figure out this. Just one sec. This will be a lot easier when we start getting people coming in the chat and saying hello. I just can't figure out. Ah, here we are. Right. I'm trying to figure out where. Okay, cool. Let me just click on something here. Right. I've got too many things open at the moment, and I'm not used to doing live streams, so I'm sort of clicking everywhere, and I'm actually hoping this is recording. Right. I've got too many things open at the moment. There you go. So I wonder if let's see how the commenting works then. Hey everyone. Hope everyone is well. Okay. I see how the whole thing works now. So, right, good. Right then. So, where was I? Yeah, so I've had a difficult time for the last 3 years. I've had to, learn how to become a single father, single parent. I've had to hold down a full-time job. I've had to look after my own my health and wellness. And 3 years later, it's still there. It's not like something that sort of surprised me when I first started this journey. It's when you grieve for somebody, it's not something that just gets better every day. You kind of sometimes, I used to think of it as if, when you come out of a relationship with someone and for the first couple of days you miss them a lot, and then a week later you don't miss them quite so much, and then a month later a little bit less, and then a year later you've forgotten about them. It's not like that with grieving. It's something that you have to live with. It just doesn't go. It becomes part of you. It's weird. I mean, I don't sit there thinking about it quite as much now as I used to. 3 years ago it was on my mind 24/7. I used to wake up in the middle of the night thinking about my wife. Wake up in the morning thinking about it. Try and work thinking about it all day long. And it really does consume your life. Now I wouldn't say things have gone back to normal. I'm not too sure they ever will. I don't think they can now, but at least my mind's a little bit more in control now, and I don't get so many wacky thoughts going through my mind. I guess you just learn to live with it. It becomes part of you. I think that's the best way I can describe it. And I've spoken to, the last 3 years now, I've spoken to a lot of other people that go through similar things. A lot of people reach out to me on social media, and I always try to answer them. And they say some similar sort of things. It's not, grieving is not something that you can cure. It's just something you have to learn to live with. And I think once you get your head around that, things are a little bit easier. But over the years, I've also found other things that have helped me. One of the big things I started doing right at the beginning was writing in a daily journal. In fact, it's here. And I don't know why I started doing this, to be honest, because I've never kept a journal before or a diary. But I just figured it'd be a way for me to organize my mind, organize my thoughts, because your thoughts are all everywhere when it happens. You don't think straight, and you don't know whether you're losing your mind. It's very, very strange. So I started writing down in that journal every day, just random things, what I'm thinking, my emotions, and various other things. And I don't write in it as much as I used to now. I mean, I write in it every now and again now. And the other thing is, I thought, my boys have only got one parent now, and if something happened to me, maybe they'd have this journal that they can go through, and they can see what I was going through at the time. They can also watch my social media videos as well, and they'll get an idea of what's going on in my head and what I've actually gone through all this time. I think one of the things I found as well is when there's children involved in this, all I cared about back then was making sure that those two boys were okay and they were good. And in many ways, you don't care about yourself. I didn't care about myself. All I cared about was making sure that they were coping. And you do that so much for months, years. But then slowly you start getting your own life back a little bit, I guess. I mean, I've always gone out and had a social life. since. It's not like I stayed at home and just didn't go out and just, I've always gone out with friends and things, but it's different. You can be happy and sad at the same time. It's really weird. I can be out with friends having a drink and I'm happy and smiling, but then inside I'm shouting, I'm screaming. There's a screaming in my head. And I never, once again, that's another thing I didn't realize. You can be happy and sad at the same time. But now things, it's just gone past the 3-year mark now, and things are starting to get a little bit better for me, in fairness. And another reason I decided to do this channel was I couldn't help my wife. I couldn't stop her dying. It was completely out of my control. And if I can help other people with my experience, then that makes me really happy. If other people are going through something similar and they get some comfort from my content, or maybe when I start talking about breast cancer and things like that, maybe it'll make somebody go and get their breasts checked, go for an examination, go for a second opinion, then that's great. And that's all I want from this channel, is just to help people. But also there's the other thing I want as well, is I want to build up a community as well. I have started a Discord channel. There's only a handful of people on it at the moment, and once the YouTube channel builds up quite a bit, then I'll start work on the Discord. And what I'd like is to do these regular weekly, bi-weekly, 2-weekly, regular-ish, weekly-ish live streams. And maybe people can come on, talk about their own story, and I think that will help. I think that will help a lot of people if they just come on, and and that we can build up a community, and maybe we can sort of help each other. Because I do think that we're all stronger together. We are united in strength. Because, like I say, nobody talks about it. It's even when I go out now, I talk about my wife a lot, and one of the reasons I talk about her a lot is because I want her memory to survive for as long as it possibly can. I lost my father when I was 19, and I hardly remember him. But it was different with him because he was very sick for about, I don't know now, I can't remember. He was sick for about 5 years. So pretty much all my teenage years, he wasn't a well man. So the images I've got of him are as a sick person, I guess. So yeah, my way of keeping the memory alive is by talking about my wife. I talk about her a lot. But I've gone off on a tangent. What I was trying to say was, if I go out now, I'll talk about it, but it's still awkward. It's still awkward to talk about it. And I know the people that are talking to me find it awkward as well. They got to be careful what they say, or what they think they do. So by building up a community, maybe we can help each other out. We can talk about it. There is almost like a secret club going on. It's like, when you lose somebody, you join this secret club. Because I've got friends now who've lost people, and we've become friends since. And it's great. We can just talk. I've got one friend, Lainey, who I met about 2.5 years ago, and we were invited to a wedding by a mutual friend. And Lainey and I didn't know each other at the time. And it turns out Lainey's husband passed away not long after my wife. And so at this wedding, we just clicked. We talked, and we back then, I certainly was in a worse place than what I am now. And it was just really comforting to have a friend to talk to who was on the same level. And I think, I was the same to her. And what's even funnier is that I always use the term funny. I don't mean funny. It's not funny, but it's... See what I mean? Talking about grief is awkward. I find it difficult to know what words we should use. It's... it's a weird topic, and that's why I want to try and bring more awareness to these things, bring more awareness to misdiagnosis, and but anyway, yes, Laney. It turns out that Laney only lives several hundred meters away from my house, and we'd never even met. So it's quite weird, really. And yet now, when we see each other, I saw the other day when I was out, and we were sitting down talking, and it was the first time I'd seen her out socially for quite some time. Now, the first time I saw her out socially, obviously we were talking about our partners quite a lot. This time, once we talked about it a little bit, it didn't consume the whole conversation. We talked about other things, and we actually laughed and joked and smiled, and I think it was great. So if I can do a similar sort of thing with this channel, if I can build up a community of people and we all help each other, that'd be great. That would be, that's all I'd ever want from this channel. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not just about grieving. I've done quite a lot of research into the health benefits of various foods and how a lot of foods out there, feed cancer. So I want to do some videos about that as well, and I can help people, with what I found there. One of the things I had to do is after my wife went, is I realized that see, my wife and I, we had a bit of a traditional relationship, in as much as I went out to work and she stayed at home looking after the kids. And in my mind, that's the most important job in the world, looking after my kids. But anyway, she did all the cooking. I never cooked. So of course, after she went, I realized I thought, I can't actually cook. I can make a bacon sandwich, but so I spent months watching various YouTube videos, learning how to cook. And I always tried, because of the health aspect now, I tried to stay away from ultra-processed foods as much as I possibly can, because they're just poison. I stay away from sugar as much as I can. So I try to, create all my foods from scratch. I always sneak in a few sort of mushroom powders and things like that, just to get them a little bit healthier, because my boys hate mushrooms. But mushrooms are so nutritious and they're so healthy. And, a lot of them as well, a lot of the medicinal mushrooms have got anti-cancer properties as well. So I always sneak this stuff into the food wherever I can. If I make this stew, a couple of spoonfuls of reishi, do it all the time, cordyceps. Not enough that you can taste it, but there's enough that you're going to get the nutritional benefit from it. Right, let me just figure out. And I know, let's figure out. Still trying to get used to this technology, if I'm honest. Yeah, let me just. I've got so many different windows open here. It's so confusing. Like I say, this is just an introduction live stream, really. I'm going to keep doing these, and then hopefully as the momentum builds up with my channel, we start getting more people coming in, and we can have some conversations with each other. And I think if people want to come on and have a chat and talk about their story, that'd be great as well. I've got about 4 windows open with my live stream in it, and I'm not actually sure which one I'm supposed to be sort of working in. I guess I'll get it figured out. Yeah, let me just check something else. All right. So I do actually have a Facebook group as well, but I'm supposed to be live streaming to that as well, but I'm not. I'll get that sorted for next time. Okay. Where are we? 8:30. Yes, I drink beer. I've got quite a healthy lifestyle. I don't smoke. I don't eat sugar. I stay away from white flour, vegetable oils. I go for a high protein diet, stay away from ultra processed foods, any chemicals. Don't take drugs. I do a lot of exercise. Very active person. But I do like a few beers. That's my one vice. I'm not giving up them. Right, what was I talking about? And the other good thing about these live streams as well is, if anyone wants to talk about, if anyone wants me to make any content on anything, I can do that as well. I can certainly look into any subjects. Something I've started doing recently as well is I've started doing a counselling course in college, mainly because I find that due to the content I'm putting out social media, a lot of people are asking me for advice. And I gave advice based on my own experience, which personally I think is the best way. I think there's too many. I'm in two minds about this. Can a counsellor or a therapist, can they advise you if they've not actually experienced it themselves? I don't know. I guess as I get into my course now and I'll learn more, then I'll probably be able to answer that myself. But I do feel that if I can combine my experience with the counselling techniques that I'm learning on my course, then I can produce even better content, and I'll be able to help people even better. So yeah, what else do I want to cover today? I think I'll put a few things up here so you can see. Let's have a look. Let's get some banners up. So if you want to find me, obviously you're on YouTube now, so you can find me on YouTube. Eventually these will be on Facebook, but the Facebook group's very, very small. And also I've got, in terms of social media, I've got Instagram, Facebook, and X. And if you go on and look for ampersand Mind Nourished Tech, you'll find me on all of those. I'm mostly active on Instagram, if I'm honest. That might change in the future, and certainly as I build up my YouTube channel, I'll be a lot more active on here as well. But my plan is with YouTube, even though it's a small channel at the moment, I do plan on getting at least 2 videos out a week. And like I say, they won't all be about grief. They'll be nutrition, wellness, holistic health, and like I said earlier, I do a lot of exercise as well, so maybe I'll sort of do a bit about that as well. But yeah, if you want to chat to me in other ways, message me, follow me on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok as well. I've not got a banner for TikTok. Let me think. TikTok. So TikTok. There you go. Right. So here's my TikTok. Life Fiend. That's an old YouTube channel I used to have. A lot of subscribers on TikTok. One of the things I found with TikTok though is and the main reason I came to YouTube is TikTok. I was doing videos, daily videos on TikTok. I remember getting a lot of views. I got a lot of subscribers. But the content, the videos you make, they disappear in TikTok. Once they've gone around and people have watched them, they kind of just disappear there and nobody else watches them. And because the thumbnails and all my TikTok videos look the same, it's just me looking up at a camera, it's very difficult to find the video on me. I mean, if I made a video and I was talking about something educational, for example, something that can help people, in the future, if somebody comes back to me and they say, "Oh, have you got a video on that?" I wouldn't be able to find it on TikTok. Now, that's one of the good things about YouTube is I can create playlists. You've got good thumbnails, you've got good titles, and I can sort of put much better structured content on there. I'll still be doing TikTok as well, but they're, like I say, they're the more sort of casual type things. My TikTok videos tend to go on Instagram as well. Like my main one going forward is probably going to be YouTube. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Whichever sort of takes off the best. But I like YouTube, and I'm going to try and build up this channel and see what happens there. So the other way you can get hold of me, getting thirsty with all this talking, is I have a website. Now, the website is called Mind Nourished Tech. There you go. Have I spelled that right? And what the website is, I started this about a year ago. Similar reasons to why I wanted to create this YouTube channel, to help other people. And the website, I write blogs about my grief journey, what happened to me, what happened to my wife. I also write blogs about nutrition and health. And also you can get a health and lifestyle report on my website. If you go to the website and register, and it's completely free, go to register, enter your profile information, and then you can go and answer. It sets up like a questionnaire with, I think it's about 30 questions. And you don't have to answer them all, but the more you answer, the better the results are going to be. And it'll just say things like, the usual sort of things, what's your diet like? How active are you? How much alcohol do you drink a week? That type of thing. And you fill in all the questions. And then that goes away. And I use AI in the background to generate your very own health and lifestyle report. And it will advise you on how you can make your lifestyle better. It's very, very clever how it does it, because it uses your profile. So rather than just giving you generic lifestyle advice, it tailors it to your actual profile. For example, if you're a non-runner, it's not going to come back and say, right, you need to start running 10 miles a week. It won't do that, because it'll know that you don't run. So it's stupid to say you need to start running 10 miles a week. So yeah, if you want to go there, go to Mind Nourished Tech, create an account, have a go at the lifestyle report, and see what you think. And I'd really appreciate some comments on it as well, because it is a new website and it's an evolving website. I've got a lot more work to do with it. So hopefully, as I get feedback from various people, I can sort of make it better. Once again, if you're registered, you can write some comments on any of the blogs. That would be good as well. I constantly want to know, if people are finding my content helpful at all. So yeah, Mind Nourished Tech, check that out. What else have I got? Let me just hide that. I'm still getting used to this software here. I've got a little ticker that can go over the bottom. Look at that, mindnourishedtech.com. It's a shame you can't click on them though, isn't it? Yeah. It's easy to find, easy to type in anyway. All right, so that's it. So go back to the comments. If you could put comments here as well. Mind Nourish. Mind Nourish Tech.com. Mind Nourish Tech.com. It puts it. Oh, that's how I can show comments. Hey, that's cool. I understand you do it now. Look at that. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone is well. Yeah, that's me. Good looking bloke there with a hat. That's the other thing as well. It's weird. It's reminding me of that. So up until about, I don't know, a month ago, I used to shave my head. I've been shaving my head for 18 years. Reason being is I saw a photo of myself kneeling down in the garden once, and I could see I was losing hair on the back of my head. And I thought, right, that's it. Off it's going to come. And about a month ago, I knew I could grow my hair back. I knew I wasn't completely bald, apart from the sort of the thinning on the back. So I thought, I'm going to grow it back and see what happens. That's what I've done. And it's completely freaked out my youngest because he's never known me to have hair. He's as long as he's been born, I've been shaving my head. So yeah, it's quite weird. And I only did it as a bit of a joke to see what I could. And I know it's not, it's not full head of hair. It's still quite sort of, thin on top. But people have said to me, don't get rid of it, keep it. Just keep it. So I will. I'll keep it a little bit longer now. It's gonna be grey now, but So I'll see what happens. But my point is, when you grieve, when you lose somebody, you find that you do weird things to try, and I think you do it to try and stay in control. Like grow my hair back. It's I'm in control of that, and I think when you grieve for somebody, I think when somebody dies, you feel out of control because you couldn't prevent it, and I don't think your brain likes that. So anything that you can do to stay in control, like growing your hair, I may be talking rubbish. I don't know, but it seems logical to me. Something else as well is drinking beer now. I drink lager. For all of my life, I used to drink bitter, real ales. And then for some unknown reason, as soon as my wife passed away, I started drinking lager. And I've been drinking lager ever since. It's really, really weird. I don't, like I say, the only thing I can think of is you're trying to do something to sort of stay in control again. And that brings me on to another point as well, When something like this happens to you, you don't want to go out and make any big decisions because you're not going to be thinking straight. A lot of people seem to want to do this, completely change their life. I know I did. When it happened, I wanted to move house. And I said to my boys, I said, should we just leave? Should we leave our town, start fresh somewhere else? And both of them said no. They didn't want to. They wanted to stay here where their friends were. And that was the right decision. Because I think to make a decision like that, a big decision like that, you need to have a clear, mind and not just do it, spontaneously like that. And 3 years later, I'm still in the same town I was, and I probably won't ever move now. I'll probably move to a different house at some point, but certainly not going to up sticks and move away. The other reason I wanted to move away, of course, was because my wife and I were house hunting 10 days before she died. And we were going to move up to Derbyshire. We had friends up there. We were going to move up there. And in fact, the last photo that anyone ever took of my wife was me and her house hunting. A friend of mine went past in the car and he saw us and he took a photo on his phone as he was driving past. And then he sent it to me on WhatsApp later. And yeah, that was the very last photo of me and her house hunting. So part of me thought after she went, well, if it was her plan and my plan at the time to move away, then maybe I should carry on with those plans. But I'm not doing that now. I really, I've got friends here, I've got family here, and the boys want to stay here. So I'm not, maybe if I was a lot younger, maybe I would, I don't know, start fresh. Maybe if I didn't have my boys, I'd move away. I mean, that's a whole other topic, good conversation. If they weren't here, I don't know what I've got up to. But yeah, I'm staying here for now. I'd like a bigger house, a bit more land, and a detached house, because I've got a semi at the moment, and I can hear the neighbours, and they can probably hear me. Right, what are we looking? This little ticker going in the bottom, haven't I? So, let me just put my social media links up again. So yeah, if you want to find me on Instagram, Facebook, X, look for Mind Nourished Tech. The reason I've got the name Mind Nourish Tech, because I actually prefer the name Mind Nourish. But the problem was that word, those words were used. I couldn't get a domain name called mindnourish.com. Well, I think I could, but I think it was going to cost about $4,000 or something. So I thought, so originally this thing started as a website, and I thought tech, Mind Nourish, and tech go together. In other words, wellness, lifestyle, health, nutrition, feeding the mind, nourishment. That's where you get the Mind Nourish from. And the tech bit was the website. It's technology, isn't it? And I thought Mind Nourish Tech. But my brand really is Mind Nourish, and that's the thing I'm going to be working on going forwards, is Mind Nourish. But I'll still keep the word tech in there as well whenever I'm, talking about more exciting things. Let's see where we are now. So what's a good day for me to do these live streams? I think this sort of time on a Sunday is probably quite good. And I think what I'll do is announce it on Facebook, not Facebook, on YouTube as well, because I think when you do a live stream, you can actually say what day you're going to do it and things, so you can sort of click notify me. Yeah. Right, what time is it? 1:45. So I've been here about 45 minutes. I might just... Let me just carry on looking at this for a moment. My computer's running so slow. Actually, I wonder how I can... Let me say hello. Everything's running so slow on my computer. I got too many things open. Okay, so I think I've actually talked a lot now. Probably gonna end this now, and I think what I'll do is I'll start doing these regularly every week. And even though I've got only a handful of subscribers at the moment, I'll announce the live stream. I think I'll probably do it on a Sunday. Maybe if it's not a Sunday, maybe I'll do it like a Monday night or a Tuesday night. Sunday night, Monday night, or Tuesday night, I'll definitely do it anyway, because they're the nights I don't really have an awful lot on. So if anyone's watching it, please go and like and subscribe my YouTube channel. I really, really appreciate it. I'm really trying to build up, the amount of subscribers on it. If you want to go and check out my website, I'd appreciate that as well. And follow me on Instagram, message me on Instagram if you've got any requests for any content, or you want any advice about anything. Just leave me a message. I'm a very small channel at the moment, not many subscribers, so I answer all my messages. I think I've got about 300 subscribers on Instagram. I think I've got about 8,000 on TikTok, and then only a handful on YouTube. But this will grow. I think what I'm trying to do here is, I think it's good. I think it's talking about a sort of taboo subject. And I think a lot of people would like to talk about what they've gone through. And I think it could help a lot of people. And that's all I want to do. Build up awareness and, try and create comfort for some people. And, and in return, I get a lot out of it as well. It's nice meeting new people. I do like it if people are finding value in what I'm talking about. And I've mentioned my journal, haven't I? What I would say about this journal, if you want to get one of it's a really good quality journal. Okay, now I've done a video on this before where I was talking about it. I'll be careful I open this now because I don't want to show everyone my what I've been writing. This is called a Scribbles notebook. It's A5, and it's got like a fake leather cover, so vegan leather, whatever that is. 120 gram paper. Now this is the best bit about it, okay? Because this is just really, really thick paper. And one of the things I hate with a lot of cheap notebooks is when you write on them, I tend to use like black ink type gel pens. I don't use biros. And when I write with these with a lot of notebooks, the ink goes through the papers. And you can see it on the other side, and I hate that. And I wanted this because I wanted to keep a journal for the rest of my life. So I bought this, and this is what I'll be journaling all the time. And I like them so much, I bought another one, which I use for just sort of my sort of business as well, which I write in that. And in fact, and I'm not going to talk about this today, just before my wife passed away, when she was in hospital, I bought her a journal as well. And the reason being is I thought it would be good for her to just write down her sort of feelings and emotions while she's in hospital. Deep down, I had a sneaky feeling she wasn't coming home again. I didn't tell her this, but I felt, well, if she can write in a journal, that's kind of something that we can keep. And she didn't actually write much in it, to be honest. It was only like a few sort of comments, but it's her last thoughts, her last feelings, what she was going through. None of us got to say goodbye to her. We spoke to her. Me and my boys had a Zoom call with her the night before she died. And she was in high spirits. She was happy, joking. She had no idea. She had no idea she was going to die. They told her she had cancer. Obviously, she knew the risks of cancer, but in her mind, she was just going to fight it in every way that she could. She said she was going to fight. She was going to fight the cancer with everything that she had for her family. And she wrote that down. Unfortunately, she didn't get to fight. She had there was no hope. There was nothing she could do. There was nothing anybody could do. There was no treatment. Nothing. She just went. A beautiful person and a beautiful wife and a beautiful mother. Dying at that age when it could have been prevented. Anyway, I've waffled on for long enough now, and I need to get another beer. Please subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. And the more people that subscribe, comment on the videos, like the videos, tell your friends about it. Maybe you know somebody that's lost somebody, or somebody's gone through something similar. Please promote my channel, because all I want to do is for the channel to grow and for me to, try and help people. Because I'm sure that people will get some value out of, my content. So I'm going to head off and keep an eye out for next week's live stream. See you again.